pharmacy to get some medicine. We've had a little bit of a major catastrophe early this morning. Somebody was in my house and let me get a car started here. Yeah. Anyway, somebody was in my house yelling at me. Better pay attention when I'm doing before I back into somebody in a golf cart. People do that all the time. They want to stop by and talk to you about something, and they'll pull up behind your car and you really can't see them, you know, unless you pay attention to your backup camera, which in my car, because as you know, Sue was out walking early this morning, as you guys know, and apparently somewhere, and I don't know exactly where, I haven't got the whole story yet, she had fell down and she couldn't get up, and she said her knee hurt real bad. And so there was 3 people. Follow me on this story. Apparently there was 3 elderly ladies that was trying to help Sue get up, and they were going to I don't know what they were going to do, what they thought they were going to do. She couldn't stand on her leg, but they're trying to help get her up right there. I don't know. And one of them, I think, took a bicycle or something, had a bicycle riding. People get up here early in the morning before the heat gets bad, and they go walking and they ride their bicycle. So she probably had a bicycle, was out here riding. She rode back to her house. Apparently it's a neighbor. I'm not sure which neighbor. Got her golf cart and was coming back up here to, was going to pick her up in a golf cart and take her home. Well, I guess they finally did somehow, or 3 women couldn't pick her up. She had to get her husband. Maybe that was it. Had to get her husband to come up here and help pick her up, put her in a golf cart, and took her to my house. And the lady, I guess, was trying to wake me up. This is like at 5:30 or something this morning. I'm in bed sleeping. I didn't go to bed till 3 o'clock. I was doing work. So this lady trying to wake me up, I guess, and she won't come in the room. I don't blame her. And she said she couldn't wake me up. So she had her husband, which I know that guy. He's a neighbor. And he came in the bedroom and woke me up. And he said that Sue had fell down and probably needed to go to the hospital. He said, I think her leg might be broke. So I jumped out of bed and I said, is she here? He said, yeah, she's here. I said, okay. So I ran out and they were trying to get her in the car. She can't walk. Nobody was doing anything. So I literally just grabbed her by the waist and picked her up and shoved her in the car. So we're going to go. So that's what we did. Well, in the emergency room over here, we all went in there, and doctor did some x-rays, MRIs, and I don't know what else. Come back and said she had a fractured knee or kneecap or something. I didn't quite understand everything he said because I don't hear real well anyway. And so, but it had something to do with the knee. And then also, I think he said she broke her ankle in 2 different areas. And so they put a cast on her, or a temporary cast or whatever, and it was kind of weird. She's in a lot of pain, and it's the way that they done it. I've never seen that before. I'm going to have to get my card out here so I can open up the magic gates to Oz. There we go. I don't know how this is going to come out. So anyway, we leave, or no, he puts this, it looks like a big Bandaid. They cleaned her up, cleaned the cuts underneath stuff up, and then I gave her a shot of something, I don't know what, and then they started wrapping her leg and ankle with 2 and 3 different types of what I'll call Band-Aids or bandages. That's what it looks like, but apparently it's not. Somehow this cloth-looking stuff, because when they he would hold onto her leg, force her leg to stay straight. But Sue had really a hard time with that. And then he would push her foot back, and she was having a really hard time with that. And they were holding her for a long time. And I kept watching it going, I wonder what are they doing? I mean, obviously she's in pain, and I don't understand what they're doing. So when the doctor left, I talked to the emergency nurse, I guess I'll call her. And she said, yeah, it's a special material that I don't know if it takes body heat. I don't know how it works, but it takes about 20 minutes, I think she said. They hold your leg in position the way they want it, and this Bandaid stuff, maybe it works with oxygen in the air. Anyway, it turns into a temporary cast. Fascinating. I am just so fascinated about medicine sometimes, about what they've come up with and how it works. And anyway, so I got that done, and they gave Sue a prescription of pain meds, and that's where I'm headed now. I dropped them off at the pharmacy on the way home. I told the guy I'll be back in 20 minutes to pick them up. Shoot, I couldn't take Sue in the house. She can't walk, and so here's what I ended up doing. This is almost like the Three Stooges here. I ended up going in the house and getting an office chair that's on wheels. I wheeled it out to the car in the driveway, had the car sideways in the driveway, got her out of the car and in the office chair, and I wheeled her in that way backwards into the house and over to the bed, and then we got up and wiggled around and got her in bed, and she's asleep now. And so I'm on my way back to the pharmacy, probably 2 hours later, not 20 minutes later, to pick up these pain meds, which, once again, we're getting into that subject that really pisses me off. That because of a few druggies out there, the rest of us in the world now are suffering in pain because of you. They want to make sure that my wife doesn't turn into a drug addict, and so they only give her 3 days worth. And the lady told me, she said, that's the federal law now, that they can only give you 3 days worth of pain medications. After that, I guess you just suffer. You know, I don't know how it all works. All I know is it's ridiculous that we have to suffer because of some drug person out there. And I don't know. It's just, I just get upset about all that kind of thing. That doctors are afraid to do what they've been trained to do because of some addicts. And, the addict is not my fault. I didn't make him take anything or do anything. All I know is my whole life and Sue's whole life, we've worked, we've saved, and now that we're older, we do have problems once in a while that may include pain and pain medications, and because of that addict now, they're telling me and my wife, well, your pain better be taken care of within the next 2 hours, because after that, we can't give you any more. So I'm going through the drive-thru here, and we'll see how this works out. Let me turn it around. I have never picked up medicine at a drive-thru before. I brought my driver's license and also brought Sue's just in case. So let me put this down, and we'll see what happens. Oh, by the way, in case you can't see me, this is my cup of coffee for today. I got a feeling the next few days is going to be long days. they've already said that we have to make an appointment at a orthopedic surgeon. That ain't sounding good, is it? Sounds like maybe they were talking about maybe operating on, I don't know. They did MRIs and x-rays and some other stuff. Whoops, my driver's license is breaking. Can you believe that? That's weird. MRIs and stuff like that. So anyway, and then they give us a disc, a CD disc with all the information from the MRIs and x-rays on this disc that we have to take to the orthopedic surgeon. I'm picking up a prescription for Aloma Sue Smith. You see my license?
Yeah.
Be careful. I just now noticed it looks like they're starting to break a little bit across here.
Okay, I'll be careful.
Okay. Thank you. You too. Okay, so now I gotta get out of here. I want you to look at this cluster. People coming down for the winter. This is just a nightmare. Look at this stuff. Look. I don't know what the hell we're doing. People just sitting out here in the middle of the road. You sure you want to live where a bunch of old people are at? Because I tell you what, half the time they're lost. So here's my thing. And I was talking to the security guard at the emergency clinic. And by the way, we went to that 24-hour, there's a bunch of them around here. I personally have never been to one here. I've heard nothing but good things about them. So we went to the one over here off 466A by Pinellas. It's not too far from the Lowe's Lumber on 466A, if you all know what I'm talking about. It's called the Ocala Health, I think. I think they're all owned by the Ocala Health. But anyway, I remember the sign in there said something like Ocala Health. So anyway, what a great place. Super great, super modern. I mean, super everything. The only problem is that I see in there, and this is just from my perspective, no problem with as far as distancing or everybody wearing a mask or cleanliness, none of that, service, none of that. But I did notice two things. One was, I pulled up to the front door at like 6 o'clock this morning. Nobody was there, just me and Sue. Obviously, if people inside could see out the window, whoops, I'm in the golf cart lane. What am I doing here? And I can't get Sue out of the car. I'm having a hard time getting her out of the car because she's in a lot of pain. So I went and got a wheelchair. I took it out next to the car, and I'm really trying to get Sue into the wheelchair without hurting anybody. And it's a struggle. I mean, we're really having a little bit of a problem, and nobody came out to offer any kind of assistance at all. None. I'm sorry if I was in there and if I was the security guard sitting in there and he watched, he saw us. I looked in there 2 or 3 times and he was watching, but he never offered any assistance. I think that's wrong, but maybe he's not supposed to. I don't know. I'm just saying. There was an ambulance on one end of the thing, entrance area. We didn't go there. I went to the front door. I don't know what. Maybe I shouldn't have went to the front door, but I did. So anyway, but he's a nice guy. And I'm telling the guy, I said, you know, it's weird. Think about this. 3 old ladies was trying to pick Sue up, and she couldn't stand on her leg. They couldn't hardly get her up. One of them went and get a golf cart and got her husband to come back to pick her up. Which we appreciate all that. Don't get me wrong. We appreciate all that. They were very kind to help out. But I asked Sue, I said, why didn't you call the ambulance? 911. I mean, obviously you couldn't walk on your leg. You didn't know if it was broke or not. I mean, you were having all kinds of problems, and they couldn't pick you up. Everybody had to run back and forth to get golf carts and all this other stuff. I said, why didn't you just call the ambulance? Because the firehouse where she fell down was less than probably a half a mile away. Maybe not even that. And she said, well, because it was so early in the morning. I said, they work 24/7. That's what they do. So I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if elderly people are even thinking. In all seriousness, I sometimes wonder if elderly people's minds work like they're supposed to. And I understand when you fall and you're injured and you're in pain and you hurt yourself, that sometimes your mind isn't thinking 100% because you're in pain. I understand that. But there was 4 other people there. They weren't in pain. They weren't injured. I would have just, if I'd have saw some lady on the ground and 2 other old ladies trying to pick her up and couldn't get her up, and this woman couldn't stand for whatever reason, she was having a hard time standing, without any question, I would have just got the phone and dialed 911, period. And I'd tell them where we were at. We need an ambulance out here. Well, a lady has fell down. She's hurt herself. She can't walk. I would have done whatever they asked me to do on the phone. Probably ask questions like, did you hit your head? Whatever. But I wouldn't have messed around. I mean, that's what they're there for. And I don't know. I just don't get that. And I'm really kind of upset about that because Sue could have really injured herself super, super bad, where time could have been of the essence. And they're all messing around here instead of dialing 911 and being done with this. So, let me just say, this is not my first experience with that situation. I saw my dad do it with Mom. He run around town trying to get neighbors to come over and help him because he knew Mom was in bad shape. I said, why didn't you just call 911? It just seems like doing that just doesn't occur to people for some reason. So that's my warning to you as you get older. Don't think that you are going to stay the same. You're not. I've seen too much of this. This is the 4th or 5th time that I've seen this. Calling 911, it just seems like for some reason, maybe you've never had to do it your whole life, and so it's just something you don't think about. But trust me, when I say that some of these elderly people down here, when I say things like, sometimes I wonder where common sense goes, this is what I'm talking about. It escapes me. I mean, there's always an excuse, I suppose, but if I have a heart attack and I'm on the ground and I'm knocked out and I can't talk to nobody, good God, don't get in your golf cart and run home and get Sue and tell her I'm laying on the ground somewhere. Just call 911 for God's sake. But anyway, that's what's happening in my life today. I got her pills. She's in bed. It's going to be a long 2 or 3 days. I'm intending to do a Wednesday night live tomorrow. I'm going to put this up right away. But after that, I can't guarantee anything about videos, uploads of videos, or anything like that, because right now it looks like I'm going to be cooking dinner and who knows what else. It's not like I haven't done this before. I took care of Dad before he passed away for 3 or 4 months. I didn't think I'd have to do it now, this early, but you just don't know. So it looks like my plans of a lot of things that I was planning on, I'm in the garage now. I was planning on doing an RV trip around Florida. I've already made a few phone calls. I was going to go stay at a few Harvest Toast. I was going to film it, put it on my RV channel to show you what some of the Harvest Toast look like here in Florida. And maybe hit a couple of beach RV parks and show you what they look like. But no, ain't going. That's not going to happen. Not in the near future, because I already know that elderly people like her knees all swelled up really bad. I saw it, and her ankles are really bad. And I have to go in and I have to uh, touch her toes and stuff once in a while. They told me to make sure that the blood's still circulating down there and all that kind of stuff. And so I gotta do my best to do what I can do. And a couple of days from now, I think we have to go to an orthopedic surgeon somewhere, have him take a look. I don't know how I'm gonna get her in there. I mean, if you've never been in a situation like this, I did it with Dad, and now I'm doing it with Sue. I've helped friends of mine at times, and what we take for granted sometimes is a real effort. Just going to the bathroom. I don't want to sound like I'm getting gross, but just like going to the bathroom. When you can't walk, or you're limited in how far you can walk, it's an effort. Or if you're in a lot of pain, to do things like take a shower, it's an effort. So anyway, I got to go in and give her pain medication and make sure everything's okay. So I'll get this up as soon as I can. Sorry it took so long. I just took you along with me, let you know what's going on in my life right now. So thanks for listening. See you on the other side.